Number 5. Mad Max Fury Road. I know some people are gonna hate on me because I don't have this movie higher on the list, but that's why I honestly think about it. So, the movie honestly has a pretty basic story if you think about it. In fact, a lot of the characters are just okay. Even Mad Max didn't really have that much character development or that much of dialogue in the movie either. And I know some people are like, oh, it's Mad Max, he doesn't have to. But the thing is, there hasn't been a Mad Max movie in about 30 years or so. But the thing I love about this movie, not love, but the reason why the movie does the best job at are the stunt work, the effects. It's entertaining. All that I give an A grade to. It does an amazing job. It's entertaining from start to finish. I really loved all the technical stuff about it. So this movie, if I would say like, oh, it has, when it comes to like, stunt work and directing, it's easily one of the best I've seen this decade alone. It is awesome. And it shows that, I knew there was some CGI used, but what I loved was that they were trying to be more practical. And I'm finally happy that the studio is finally, figuring out, oh yeah, CGI isn't the end-all isn't just the end-all for anything. It, can be a good tool, but it's not, gonna fix everything. It's not gonna be the best thing for everything. Number 4. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, one of the things I liked about this movie was the fact that they got the original cast back. Kind of like Terminator, Genesis, where they got Arnold back. This one did an awesome job. They got, Harrison Ford back. They got Mark Hamill back. And then they also have Carrie Fisher back as well. I really liked that. But also, it was kind of a bit of a gamble to cast two unknowns in the lead roles, but it worked. I liked them, and they had pretty good chemistry. And also the villain was pretty good too. Even though he comes off as like a Darth Vader wannabe, he's still pretty good. The way he uses the Force in this was awesome. And I really like to see where they explore this character. The effects were really good. Like Mad Max Fury Road, this one does rely more on realistic settings and more realistic effects. And they do use CGI, but only when it's necessary. And it looks pretty good. Also, what's interesting to know is that I saw this one in 3D, and I'm not a big fan of 3D whatsoever, but this is the only movie that I would recommend seeing in 3D because there were a lot of shots, especially when you're flying. You feel like you're really flying when like one of the ships are going by. It's really a cool experience. But on the flip side to that, there wasn't really much new. It was kind of copying too much of A New Hope a little bit. There are kind of too many elements about it. And also the other big gripe I have with this one is the fact that Captain Phasma, whatever her name is, barely had any screen time. She was a pretty much wasted character. So if they do bring her back, just give her something to actually do. At least maybe have her fire her gun once. Number 3. Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, I know people are saying this is inferior to the first one, but in my opinion, this is actually better than the first Avengers movie. There's two reasons. One is the villain. Ultron is an awesome villain. He's easily the best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Loki's okay, but Marvel Cinematic Universe villains are not very good whatsoever. They're pretty forgettable. They're just kind of deal. But Ultron was a home run. He was just a guy who was, he's a thing. But I really love the voice actor they got. I'm trying to remember his name, but he's on that Blacklist show. I liked how he had a personality. I liked how he was sinister. He was trying to pretty much, justify his means and how he brainwashed like two of the, superhero characters as well. They were also pretty good in it. But yeah, he looked pretty good effects-wise as well. And the second reason why I think this movie is better than the first one is that there's a lot more at stake in the climax. Like in the first one, it's just a city getting attacked, whoop-de-doo. But in this one, it's pretty much the whole world could be destroyed. It's pretty much time's a ticking. You gotta destroy Ultron. You gotta save the world kind of deal. I think this movie kind of had, kind of slowed down a little bit too much from time to time, but the main problem I had with it was the out of nowhere romance between, like, the Black Widow and the Hulk. That was like, where did that come from? But I'm glad that it really didn't go anywhere, and it's just eh. Number 2, Inside Out. This is the best Pixar movie since Toy Story 3. It is funny and also kind of sad at the same time. There were a lot of great moments. I loved the interaction between, like, the emotions. I loved how they kind of bounced off each other in a sort of way, and they had their own personalities. They weren't, like, always, for example, Anger wasn't always angry all the time, but he was most of the time angry in that. And I did like how each of the emotions, especially, joy and sadness, how they had to work together and kind of, like, compromise these two polar opposite emotions had to go. I liked that. And the movie had really, really smart writing. Like, there's a part where they're writing this train thing, and they knock over this crate filled with facts and opinions, and they say these things kind of get mixed up at times. That was gold right there. That writing was gold. I mean, I think this movie should get an Oscar nomination for Best Original Screenplay just for that line alone. That was great. And yeah, I did like this one a lot. I highly recommend it. So I'm looking forward to what Disney does next. And the number 1 best movie of the year is Kingsman: The Secret Service. Now, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I thought, oh, it's just one of them, like another spy movie, just trying to get with the teen audience. It just looked, pretty stupid. But after hearing from my friends that, oh, it's good, you gotta see it, I'm like, okay, so I went to go see it, and my expectations were exceed a lot. Like, this was had a great time watching this movie. I mean, one of the reasons why is that it's a fun spy movie. Like, how often do you see a fun spy movie anymore? Usually, they're trying too much to be like, again, the Bourne movies are trying to be too serious and dark and gritty and that. But this one actually is fun. It's self-aware that it's a fun spy movie. There's definitely violent stuff in this film. There's definitely dark stuff. But it's a fun movie. I mean, that's why I think the Bond movie should go back to being more fun like this. It was being self-aware a lot. Like, there's this one great part where I think it's like Michael Caine's character is asking the main character Iggy's, I can't remember the actor's name, but I think his name was Iggy, something like that. And he was asking him, "What you name your dog?" And he said, "JB." And he said, "Oh, like James Bond?" It's like, "No." "Jason Bourne?" "No." "Jack Bauer?" "Yes." And I just thought that was great too, how ironically these spy characters, iconic spy espionage characters, had the same initials, and I absolutely love that. Now, the characters were pretty good too. Samuel Jackson did a good job as, the villain. He has kind of a weird, lisp kind of thing, I'm trying to remember how it went exactly, but it was pretty good. The movie was just fun. The church fight scene was awesome, great, the awesome, best usage of Freebird ever. I get addicted to listening to that song after watching that movie. For several months, I was just listening to that. And yeah, it was just, again, a fun movie. It was great, entertaining, and I'm really looking forward to if they make another one. So, that's my top 10 movies of 2015, at least what I saw so far. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you in 2016.